Hey everybody, so this video that I made is a little yoga video. I tried to keep it to 40 minutes. That didn't work. It's really beginner friendly. It's alignment focused. We go through a little bit of a flow, and you might experience some heavy breathing, so that's fun. But I wanted to just introduce myself. I'm Pat. I am currently in a Yoga Alliance registered teacher training program, 200-hour, and we were going to graduate at the end of April. It looks like that may be postponed. I was into my second live class. We're supposed to do 5 practice teaching classes. I've done 2 so far. So obviously with this pandemic, that has stopped. So I'm making a couple of little videos just to keep fresh. Maybe, depending on how long this thing lasts, maybe they count for those, so I don't know. So watch at your own risk. Watch and participate at your own risk. Watching safe, participate at your own risk. And I use props in these videos. So since we're all stuck at home, we're not gonna go to Target and look for yoga props, right? We're gonna use what we have at home. So I just wanted to maybe make my little contribution and show you some things that you might have around your house that you can use in place of blocks, in place of straps, and in place of bolsters even. So here are my ideas. You might have a bunch of shoe boxes lying around your house. If you do, these would work, right? Especially if they have stuff in them, like maybe roll a blanket up and put it in them so they're nice and sturdy. Or really any kind of box, like similarly sized boxes would work. And I'll demonstrate in just a minute. In place of a yoga strap, obviously like a belt, but I don't own a belt. I don't know. I wear stretchy pants. I don't own belts. So like a scarf would work, right? A scarf. Ooh, look at that. Connections, huh? There we go. Scarf works. Let's see, what else do we have here? Or a towel. You can use a towel just to put it around your foot. There we go, look at that. Yoga belt. Okay, and then for bolsters, couch cushions, like if you can remove the cushions from your couch, that would work. I also have these really like firm pillows. So maybe like a set of these would work. You can do a little restorative yoga. Oh hey, check that out. Nice. Or you can use it to sit on for your Dandasana. So yeah, look around your house. See what you have. You don't need anything to do yoga. Just need yourself, your meat vehicle. So, and really, you don't really need that. Like once you've gotten really good at it, you don't even need the meat vehicle, right? In theory. So that's it. Just wanted to introduce myself and tell you what I'm up to. Let's get this thing started, okay? So we'll start our practice today in our easy cross-legged position. We call this Sukhasana in yoga. We're going to put our hands, place our hands on top of our knees, maybe palms facing down or up, whatever you're more comfortable with. And here, we'll begin to connect with the space that we've set aside for our practice today, connect with our mat, and most importantly, connect with our breath. So here you can close your eyes or lower your gaze. Start to take in a deep breath through your nose exhale through your nose. On your next inhalation, start with filling in the belly, expanding the belly as you take a breath in. And when you breathe out through your nose, empty your belly. On your next inhalation, fill the belly first, then maybe expand the side ribs. Exhale, emptying the belly and then contracting the ribs. This next inhalation will be your fullest yet. We'll take in a deep breath, filling the belly, expanding the side ribs, and maybe even lifting the upper chest. Hold. Then on your next exhalation, contract the belly, pull the belly in and up, contract the side ribs, lower the chest as you try to get rid of every last little bit of air inside your lungs. One more deep breath in, filling the belly, expanding the ribs, lifting the chest. Exhale, emptying the belly, the ribs, and then the chest. Get rid of every last little bit of air in there. And on your next inhale, just let it come normally. Just naturally filling, naturally exhaling, maybe noticing that your breath is a little fuller and deeper. Your exhales a little longer. We're going to connect some hand movements to our breath. So bring your hands to heart center, thumbs pressed up against your sternum. Sit up tall. And on your next inhale, raise your hands up over your head. Exhale, bring your hands down to side body, fingers touch the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms up overhead, keeping the shoulders down. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Here, we're going to sit up tall on our inhale and twist. So sit up tall, inhale, exhale, we're going to twist to the right. Keep your chin tucked, stacked over your chest. And now, bring your left hand, put it on your right knee. Right hand behind you helps you sit up. If you're on a blanket, you can use a block or a book to help you sit up tall. Exhale, twist a little deeper, keeping that chin over the chest. Just feeling this twist in the spine. Come back to center. Now we're going to bring our hands back to heart center. We're going to inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Take your left hand, put it behind you, helping you sit up tall. And put your right hand on your left knee. On your next inhale, sit up even taller. Exhale, twist. Keep your chin stacked over your chest just to ensure that we're not twisting from the neck and that we're twisting from the mid-section of our body. Each inhale helps you sit up taller. Each exhale brings the twist in a little bit deeper. Now coming back to center, we'll bring our hands back to our heart, pressing our thumbs up against our sternum, sitting up tall. And inhale, we're going to bring our hands up overhead. Exhale, hands down to side body. One more time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down to heart center, JK. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down to your sides. Here, we're going to take our right hand and we're going to swing it up, thumb pointing up towards the ceiling, arm ending up by our ear. And on your next inhale, sit up really tall. Ooh, walk your left hand a little bit out. Exhale, bend the left elbow as we feel a stretch in the side body. We want to keep our right hip grounded so that we can really get that stretch. Inhale, stretch our arm a little higher towards the ceiling. Exhales, bend our left elbow, feeling that stretch a little bit more in the side body. Now remember, we're just here to warm up. So this isn't going to be our deepest stretch today. Maybe on your inhale, you can roll your chest up towards the ceiling. And you might feel this stretch all the way through your tricep, down your armpit, all the way down to your hip. Maybe you feel it in one of those parts. Just observe. Come back. We're going to switch sides. So we'll take our left hand up, bicep by your ear. We're going to walk our right hand out a little bit, grounding down through the left hip. We're going to bend that right elbow in the exhale. Stretching the other side. Rolling your heart up towards the ceiling. Shining the light from your chest as high up as possible. And on the inhale, stretch your arm out a little further. Exhales, bend us a little deeper into that stretch, just to where you feel it. Breathe. And on your next inhale, come back up. From here, we'll stretch the hips out a little bit. Hopefully, if you're sitting out on your blanket, this has been enough to sort of release your hips. If not, that's okay. You can stay on your blanket. Here, we're going to do a forward fold. So if you are up on your blanket, you can take your block or a book or a box and set it in front of you. And then as we fold forward, we want to hinge from our hips and keep our spine straight and the natural arch of our spine present as we fold forward. So on your next inhale, sit up tall, shine the light from your chest forward, and push your block forward as you hinge from your hips, folding forward. You might feel this in your outer hip or in your outer hips as you fold forward. If you feel it somewhere else, that's okay, observe. Just don't ignore any pain in your knees. If you do have any pain in your knees here, just back out of it a little bit. Look forward, breathe. Once you've reached your stretch, you can sort of lean into it by relaxing your head, lowering your gaze, and breathe. Come back up. And for funsies, we're going to switch feet. So right now I have my right foot in front of my left foot. I'm going to switch that, bringing my left foot in front of my right foot, trying my best to line up the heels. Might feel a little bit weird. So we're just taking our least dominant side and putting it in front of the other, maybe a side that doesn't get stretched very often. So we're going to see what that feels like. So here we're going to inhale to sit up tall, exhale sliding forward, hinging at the hips. lowering the gaze. Observing the sensations in the body. Listening to the knee. If there's any pain in the knee, we come back up a little bit and settle there. Lowering the gaze, relaxing your neck. Remembering to breathe, relaxing the neck. Tucking the chin. Settling into the stretch. Come back up. Here we're going to move to our tabletop position. So take your block and set it aside. We'll use it later. Coming to hands and knees. Our knees under our sit bones. Hip width apart. Our hands under our shoulders. We're going to go into cat-cow, warming up the spine. So, starting with cow, we'll lift our tailbone, sag your belly, and lift your chin. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, pull in your belly, in and up, tuck your chin, arch your spine. Inhale, lifting the tailbone, sagging the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, lift the belly, tuck the chin. Do this 3 more times on your own, with your own breath. Coming to neutral tabletop, we're going to do a little balance challenge here. Also work the core a little bit. Bring your right hand in front of you. Create a little tent with your fingers. And then extend your left leg. Toes are on the mat. Here you want to tuck your tailbone, pulling your belly in and up. If you can maintain this tuck, when you lift, lift your leg, keeping that tuck in your tailbone. Here, you can, if you want a little bit of a challenge, I invite you to lift your arm, thumb pointing towards the ceiling. And we can hold this, making sure that our belly stays in, our tailbone tucked, our legs slightly off the mat, breathing. Then you can lower your hand, lower the leg, and we're going to switch sides. Make a tent with your left hand, extend the right leg, tuck the tailbone, pull in the belly. Lift the leg off the mat. And then finally you can lift your hand if you'd like, thumb pointing towards the ceiling. Hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Bring the hand down, bring your foot down. Here we're going to go into our child's pose. So bring your toes, your big toes together, and then extend your knees. Bring your knees out, touching the sides of your mat, and take your hands out in front of you. Here, we're going to send our hips back so our butt touches our heels, and then lower your head. If your head does not comfortably reach your mat here, you can stack your fists one on top of the other, relax your head on your fists, or if you have a block, you can rest your head on the block. The point here is to release your hips. Connect with your breath again. This is a great pose to come back to just throughout your day. Know that you can always come here. You're at home anyways. So just, child's pose is always there for you when the world gets a little much. Breathe. All right, let's come back. Time to face the world again. So we'll come back up and we'll bring our knees back underneath of our hips. Here we're going to move into our standing poses. So we'll get there by going into down dog. We'll curl our toes under. Set your hands just ahead of your shoulders and point your index fingers towards the top of your mat, towards the top corners of your mat. And then you're going to have your thumbs out so that your index finger and your thumb make an L. Here, we're going to lift our hips up towards the ceiling, keeping our knees deeply bent. We want to make a connection with our belly to our legs, or the tops of our thighs. And then here we can start to straighten the legs, maybe bicycling them out. Trying to bring the heels down to the mat, but they certainly do not have to touch. Keeping the eyes of the elbows turned towards each other as we push our hands down into the mat and lift our hips up towards the ceiling. Stretching out the spine. If you have tighter hamstrings, it's okay to keep your knees bent as you stretch your spine and push down into your mat. And breathe. And then from here, we're going to start to walk our hands up towards our feet. Maintaining a bend in your legs, make that connection from your belly to your thighs. You can bring your hands up to your shins, and then begin to straighten the leg as you straighten out your back. Breathe. Feel this stretch in the belly of your hamstrings. You don't want to feel this in your sitting bones or behind your knees. Just right in back of your thighs, right in the center. And then, on your next inhale, bring your hands to your hip, or on your next exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, strong back, stand up tall. Here, we find ourselves in Tadasana. We can start to set up for a Tadasana or mountain pose by grounding down through our feet. So we're going to start by spreading out our toes, maybe lifting our toes, spreading the toes apart, and then setting them down one at a time. I like to set down my big toes first. And then try to set down one toe at a time. It's actually pretty hard. And then keep having my toes down on the mat, spread apart. I'm going to start to rock my weight to the front of my feet. Don't fall over. And then rock my weight back to my heels. And then go back and forth, trying to find the center of my feet, where my weight can be evenly distributed through all four corners of the feet. And then here we are. From here, I'm going to bring this balance into my legs. So I'm going to roll my thighs in and out, pushing my kneecaps up. Here, this might send my tailbone down slightly, and then my back, my shoulders touching or trying to touch, and then my shoulder blades moving down my back. This might send my chin to tuck slightly, stacking my ears over my shoulders, and then bringing the crown of my head up, helping me stand tall. My palms are facing out. And here, we're in Tadasana. I'm keeping my belly pulled in and up, but still breathing by bringing the breath into my side ribs. Each inhale helps me stand taller. Each exhale grounds me down through my feet. So I'm simultaneously being pulled up and settling down into the earth. One more breath. Relax. Now we're going to take our feet apart, wide. If you want to know how wide, you can bring your arms up and then check to see that your ankles are under your wrists. And that'll be about as wide as you want to be. We're going to go into our Trikonasana here, or triangle pose, so you may want to use a block depending on your flexibility. And I'm just going to take, and I always like to check in with a block, especially when I'm doing slower flows. I like to use a block to really check my alignment and make sure that I'm distributing the stretches everywhere that it wants to be and not letting one thing take over. All right, so I put my block outside of my right foot and take my arms up shoulder height. And then I'm going to turn my right foot out, checking to see that my heel is in line with the arch of my back foot. Now, on my next inhale, standing up tall, rolling my shoulders down my back. I'm going to reach to the right, hinging at the hips. Come back up. And then reach again, hinging at the hips. Come back up. One more time, reach to the right, and then drop your hand, find your block, or find your shin, or it could be the top of your thigh. Here, I'm going to take my right hand, or my left hand, and I'm going to push my shoulder back, rolling my chest, my heart up towards the sky. If your shoulders stack, you can lift your right hand up, and then your gaze is going to be towards your right thumb, or your left thumb, your left hand, left thumb, look up, and breathe. You may feel a stretch down your inner thigh. Depending how deep you are, you could possibly feel a stretch up the side of the hip here. Breathing. And then hinging from the hips, we're going to come back up. We're going to move into our warrior two on this right side here. So we're just going to keep the block right where it is. We're going to bend our right leg. And we're going to bring our arms shoulder height. Look over your right hand, looking over your middle finger. That's your drishti. We're in Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. This pose is meant to be held. So just breathe. Maybe even reaching the back hand a little bit further back to stack your shoulders over your hips. You want to make sure that this knee isn't going past your foot. That's important too. And you can even kind of check your knee and push it back a little bit. And we're holding for 3, 2, 1. You can straighten your knee if you're looking for a little bit of a quad burn here, though. Keep your knee bent because we're going to go into our side angle. So bring your arms back up if you've straightened your knee. And then we're going to reach to the right. We're going to drop our hand to our block, or you can bend your arm and rest your forearm over your knee or over your thigh. And then we're going to swing this left arm up, bicep by our ear, making a straight line from your hand all the way down to your back foot. And then look up, if that's okay with your balance, you can look up towards your thumb and breathe. If you want an extra challenge here, lift that arm, lift your weight out of your thigh and breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Stand back up, Virabhadrasana 2, straighten the leg, relax the arms. Whew. We're going to turn the feet towards the side of the mat. We're going to turn the feet to face the side of the mat, and then we're going to switch. So we're going to turn that left foot out towards the short side of your mat. Place your block down on the outside of your left foot. We're going to go back into our Trikonasana on this side. So we're going to take our arms up shoulder height, hinge, check your feet to make sure that they're still in line with each other. You want the heel of your foot in line with the arch of your back foot. We're going to take the arms up, and then we're going to look over our left hand, looking over our left middle finger. We're going to reach to the left and come back up. Reach to the left, come back up. And this time we're going to reach again. Reach. Find your block. Take your hand to your shoulder. Turn your heart up towards the ceiling and then lift your arm. Look up towards that thumb and breathe. Feeling the stretch on the inner thigh. For 3, 2, 1. Come back up, hinging from the hips. We're going to set up for Virabhadrasana 2. So bend that left leg. Check to see that the knee isn't going past the foot, and then you can also push that knee back a little bit towards the block. Bring your arms up shoulder height. You're going to look over your left middle finger. And you're going to hold this pose, maybe pulling the back arm back a little bit, just so that your shoulders stack over your hips. And breathing for 3, 2, 1. If you want, straighten the leg, relax the arms. But if you're looking for a little bit of challenge, keep that leg bent. Your arms are up. We're going to reach over that leg as far as we can go. And then we're going to drop our hand to our block, or bend the arm, bend your forearm across the top of your thigh, and then swing your arm up, bicep by your ear. Look up towards your hand and breathe. Maybe if you're looking for a little challenge, you can lift your weight up out of your arm and reach for the sky, hold a beach ball, and breathe. 3, 2, 1. Come back up to Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten the leg, relax your arms, turn that foot around. We're going to undo all of that. We're going to bring our block to the front of us, having our toes pointed towards the long side of our mat. We're going to bring our toes in towards each other a little bit, giving us a slight pigeon toe, not too much, just to make sure that the side of our foot is in line with the short side of our mat on either side. So here we're in a really wide stance. We're going to bring our hands to our hips and stand up tall for our Prasarita Padottanasana, or a wide-legged forward fold. So take a deep inhale in, stand up tall, and then hinging from the hips, we're going to fold forward. If you have tight hamstrings, you can grab your block and hang out here, making sure you're keeping a nice, deep, natural curve in your spine, shining the light from your heart forward as you feel that nice stretch in the back of your hamstring or in your hamstrings. not behind your knees, not in your sit bones. If you're looking for a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can always turn the block to the side, see what it feels like there. Remove the block altogether. Folding forward. Maybe rocking the weight forward on the toes. Don't fall forward as you move your hands back in between your feet. And breathe, relax your neck. Then on your next inhale, bring your arms to your hips. Inhale yourself up. And then bring your feet together. Shake it off. Whoo! So now we're going to move to the floor. We're going to do a little lunge to get there. So grab your blocks. Books also works. Shoe boxes works. Anything, or you can do this without blocks too. So I'm just going to use the blocks here to just help make the lunge a little bit more accessible. So from here, we're going to take our blocks and we're going to set them at the top of our mat, far apart so that we can fit both our feet in between, so we can stand in between the blocks. Here, I'm going to put my right foot in between the blocks. I'm going to send my left leg back. And then I'm going to bend that knee lower down to my knee. Here, I'm going to maybe inch my right foot a little bit forward, holding on to both of the blocks, shining the light from my chest forward, and then dropping my hips down until I feel a stretch in the front of my thigh on the left side. And you can inch your foot forward. You want to give your tailbone a slight tuck, so we're not really dumping this all into our lower back. And then we're stretching the front of that thigh. You can also curl the toe under and lift the knee up for a little bit of a deeper stretch, a deeper lunge, if you like. We just work those quads, so it's nice to give them a nice deep stretch afterwards. We strengthen before we lengthen. And then drop that knee. We're going to bring the stretch into the hamstrings. So we're going to send our hips back, straightening our right leg. Breathing in to lift our chest and then folding over that right thigh. Look at your toes. Then we're going to bend that leg again. We're going to take the right knee back to join the left knee and then lift the left leg up, bring the foot in between the blocks, and again we're going to sink forward, feeling that stretch in the top of the right thigh. Breathe, shine the light from your chest forward, tuck your tailbone slightly, and sink. Again, if you did it on the left side, you'll want to do it on the right side. Curl the right toes under, lift the knee off the mat, sink a little deeper, if you like. If this feels good, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And breathe. Now we're going to drop that right knee again, and we're going to send the hips back, getting a little hamstring stretch in our left leg. Shine the light from your chest forward and fold onto the left leg. Keeping your toes pulled back towards your knee. Look at that toe. And then bring the left knee to meet up with the right knee. From here, we're going to sit down, remove our blocks, and we'll move into Dandasana, our seated staff pose. So our legs are going to be stretched out in front of us. And our sit bones are going to be on the mat here. So you can move some flesh out of the way to help you sit up straight. You want to sit up nice and tall so that natural curve in your back is still there. So you don't want to be, you don't want your Dandasana to look like this, where you're just like using your abdominal muscles to hold yourself up. That's not good for our lower back. So if this is the case, if this is what you're up to, if you're using your abdominal muscles to hold yourself up, then we're going to get either a bolster. This can also be a couch cushion. It can be a stack of blankets. You don't need to have all the yoga props, but this is going to help you sit up nice and tall so you've got that nice curve in your back. And then you can put your hands over your thighs or your hands down in your bolster to help you sit up nice and tall. From here, seated in our Dandasana, our seated staff pose. We're going to sit up tall. Bring your hands down to your side. You want to maintain that natural curve in your back. Pulling your toes towards your knees, lifting your kneecaps as you roll your thighs in and out. Tuck your chin in and breathe, pulling your inner belly in, helping you sit up taller, or your lower belly in, helping you sit up taller. Breathe into your side ribs, expanding the side ribs as you breathe in, and constricting the throat, breathing out. Pushing the breath completely out, breathing in, sitting up tall, constricting the throat, breathing out. 2 more times, in through the side, into the side ribs, out through the nose. If that was really hard, if you were shaking, you were doing it right. So relax. We're going to go into our forward fold next. So if you can reach your toes and maintain a somewhat straight back, that's awesome. But if not, you can always use a belt. Now, it doesn't need to be a yoga strap. It can be a regular belt. It can be a scarf. It can be a towel. So really anything that's going to go around your feet that you can hold with your hands is acceptable. So make use of the things that you have in your home. You don't need to go on Amazon right now and order anything. So you can sit up tall here, using your strap, maybe pinching it with your fingers so you're not tempted to crank yourself down. We're going to bring our toes towards our knees. We're going to sit up tall and inhale and exhale, fold forward. You want to feel this stretch in the backs of your thighs. Here you don't want to feel it in the knees. More importantly, you don't want to feel it in your sit bones. So sitting up nice and tall again, exhaling, making the connection first from the belly to the tops of the thighs. Fold forward. Look at your big toes as you move forward, as you work to make that connection from the belly to the thighs. From here, sit back up. Let it all go, breathe. So from here, we're going to go into our bridge pose, or Setu Bandhasana, before we settle down for our Shavasana. So for this, you might want to block. This is just going to be a nice gentle back bend to undo all the forward folding we've been doing. So here, gently just lay back. when you're settled into this, once we lift up, we want to make sure that we're not turning our head back and forth. So set a gaze for yourself on the ceiling somewhere and just make sure that no matter what happens in your house, before you turn to look, maybe there was a crash, you know, a child like dropped something or fell, or you heard a cry, just make sure you settle your hips down first before you go to look over to see what's happening. And that's to just protect the whole spine, protect everything that we're trying to heal here. So from here, we're going to take, you can either take a block or a book, something to keep your legs from separating as we lift up. I'm going to put them right there in between our knees. And we're going to do 3 sets of these. So we're going to take our hands and set them behind us, palm facing up. Lift up and bring your shoulders underneath of your back. Tuck your chin. From here, we're going to send our hips up, keeping that block pressed in between our thighs, sending our hips up, 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 up. See what that feels like. Are you able to keep the blocks in between are you able to keep the block in between your knees? Do you feel like you're going to drop it? And then come back down. From here, if you want to go a little bit higher, you can move your heels back towards your sit bones. And then we can send the hips up even higher this time. Sending the hips up. We can bring our hands together, clasping them underneath of our back. And then lift, 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 lift. Inhaling, lifting higher. And then come back down. Next inhale, we're going to send our hips as high as they'll go. We're going to clasp our hands underneath of our back one more time. So inhale, lift the hips up, clasp the hands, bring the shoulder blades together, lift up higher. And we're going to settle here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back down. Remove the block. Extend your legs. And get ready for our Shavasana. Just having your hands up towards the ceiling. Bringing the shoulder blades underneath of your back. And then extending your head, or extending your neck. Lift your head and tuck your chin. Extend your neck and then set it back down so that your chin stays tucked. Settle your gaze. And do a body scan as you try and relax every little muscle that might still be holding tension. Maybe curling the toes in, tensing up the legs, lifting the kneecaps, tensing the glutes, and then letting it all go. Relaxing every little bit of your lower body. Maybe at the top of the body we can make fists with our hands, tensing up the biceps. Maybe even scrunch the shoulders just a little bit. And then let that all go in an exhale. And for our face, a lot of times we carry tension in between the brows and in the teeth, in the mouth and the jaw. So we're going to scrunch up our face like if we just tasted a very sour candy or a lemon. And then we're just going to let it all go. Release the face. Soften the brow. And breathe. And lay here as long as you want. This is your house. This is where you live. It's your apartment. This is your room. This is your mat. or your rug. You don't even need a yoga mat. We're okay. We're okay right here in our home. You don't have to leave. All our stuff is here. There's nothing we need. Everything's gonna be okay. If you're still with me, if you're ready to get out of your Shavasana, you can start to gently wake the body by wiggling the fingers and wiggling your toes. And taking one leg in at a time. And bend one leg in, and then the other. Hugging in your knees and rocking back and forth. If that feels good on your lower back, you can make little circles. And then roll to your right side. Use your arm as a pillow. And then using your left hand, you can extend your left leg as well. And push yourself up to a seated position. And we meet where we started in our Sukhasana. Here, you can take a mudra if you'd like by taking your index finger and your thumb and placing them together, extending your 3 other fingers, making them straight, sitting up tall, lowering the gaze, and just enjoying the last bits of your practice. And bringing our hands together, I thank you for joining me today and any day, because you can play this anytime you want. But I thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought some stillness to your day, to your week. I know it's been tough for all of us. We're kind of stuck inside, but that's okay. It's for the health of ourselves, it's for the health of our families, and it's for the health of our communities. So I thank you. Namaste.